All right, thank you for joining. Today we will analyze MATIC on the Binance chart, USDT. I did go over this project a few days ago in the Telegram. As you can see, here's the Telegram. The link is on my X account. So if you go on X, you go to the top, click this, it'll bring you to the Telegram page, and this is where I post basically all the updates, trade analysis, when I enter and when I exit trades. Had a lot of good calls the past few days. KSM went up. MATIC as well went up a lot from these levels. So if you can see, this was when MATIC was trading at around 72.44 cents, right? And when that did post a few days ago, price reacted quite nicely, right? So now it's even trading at 79 cents. So I believe that's about a 8% increase or so. Yeah. So you'd be up about 9% since my post. And the reason why I did post to go long here is because, as you can see, just going over this a little bit more in depth, let me go to the 8-hour chart just so you can see this data a little bit more clearly. So MATIC had a nice run up, came down, sold off, had a nice pivot low, first pivot low. After the second high here, this is where I decided to draw the parallel channel. And as you can see, price increased above it, came down, back tested it as support, tried to go again, but then essentially just failed and came right back into the channel. We'll go ahead and call that a slight deviation outside of the parallel channel. But price did react quite nicely from the lows, right? It hit the support zone, because keep in mind this is a zone. So it came down, hit the support zone, and then rallied higher, right? As you can see, it's a zone because price doesn't have to go all the way to the bottom for you to get a nice reaction. As you can see, price reacted nice here, tapped the zone right here, tapped the zone or the area, whatever you want to call it, right here too as well. Tapped it again, got a decent reaction, failed below, came back into the parallel channel, and now it's about 8 to 9% above entry. So the main target, first target for this, was this pivot high here. And as you can see, price is currently doing a swing failure off that previous high. So if we zoom in, you'll see a little bit more details. Price came up, tapped it almost exactly, tried to flip that resistance into support. It failed it. Got a little reaction, about a 3% reaction. So if you were to do that as a scalp short, you would be in the profits right now, but currently it is showing a little bit of strength, like it wants to reverse back up and retake those highs once again after breaking out, as you can see. So this is a breakout. It's trying to confirm another low time frame market structure change, which is basically is doing, because if we go ahead and zoom into the 5-minute, you can see, right, this was the lowest low, this is a high, higher low, lower high, but still higher low, just squeezing up. So you have buyers just willing to come in a little bit higher each time it rejects, right? And then essentially those highs are broken out. As I said before, this resistance flipped into support, and price is now trying to go after the previous high. So let's go ahead and zoom out one more time. So where do I think this project's going to go next? So obviously it all comes down to what Bitcoin does, but typically after projects come down to the support levels, it'll at least try to tackle the value area high or point of control. So if we go ahead and pull the fixed range volume profile tool, let's go ahead and take a look. And as you can see, value area low is right down here. Price did reclaim that low, and it's trying to go after the point of control, which is actually at a very key area, right? So as you can see, point of control right above the weekly level. So this is also major resistance. So that's really where I would be targeting in this first trade. You could take out maybe 25%, 50% of your profits after hitting this pivot high, maybe 25%. If price comes down, you could re-enter and compound that long. So this way you have more liquidity if price does reach a little bit higher. That's if you were able to get into this trade down here, right? That's if you were to happen to buy in here. So right now I would not be looking for a buy. I'd be looking for a rejection of these highs, and to be honest, I wouldn't really be looking for another major trade unless price comes up to these levels with the monthly, top of the parallel channel. You have the daily and value area high all in this area. They're a little bit, I don't like how far they are away from each other, so you have to pick and choose your levels wisely and use stop losses. So if you did enter off these lows, obviously you should move your stop loss back to entry. But my target right now is for MATIC to currently hit these levels, the point of control. And if it could flip it into support, then we go ahead and target the value area high and the daily level above, and even the parallel channel, right? Because this is still a channel. And let's see what happens if we move this just a little bit closer. And it's still pretty much at the same area, so might as well bring it all the way back here so we could get the full amount of data. And as you can see, if we go ahead and zoom out even more with MATIC, it broke out of this absolute massive downtrending trend line, right? This downtrend. So it broke out. Now it's just in this sideways consolidation. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if after it taps the point of control, we come back down even lower. But the way how the market is looking right now, to be honest, I can see MATIC really tackling these levels above, right? So I could really see going back after this at the top of this parallel channel, the monthly level too as well, the daily level as well. But obviously the next major challenge is to flip this local resistance, which I believe it will do quite easily as long as Bitcoin stays neutral or bullish. I could see that flip happening. And after we tackle those levels, what are we looking for next? Just like I said, to reclaim the point of control, turn that into support, and then we go ahead and tackle the value area high and the daily level, which is untapped, so untapped daily level above. So that's really what I'm keeping an eye on. If we do fail from these levels, then yes, I would be looking at the bottom of the parallel channel again. We could go ahead and pull our fibs from the low to see if anything lines up. So looks like the 0.5 lines up with the value area low, so that would be a great area to add back to a long. And if you look at it a little bit closer, this is also support and resistance, right? So if we go ahead and make a little box, this area right here was resistance, flipped into support, and price moved up a little bit higher. So obviously key support, right? This is just clear as day. Price touched it, bounced, swept these highs, came down, tapped these lows again, swept the liquidity from this previous low, got a solid reaction. It doesn't look like that much. If we go ahead and pull your percent, if you were to long on the low, you still got 3.5%, which is a decent trade. Price came back down, tapped this support, decisively broke down, came down to the swing failure level, which is down here. So, so swept these lows too as well. A key pivot before reclaiming the 786, the monthly level, and flip this resistance back into support. So if I'm looking for a long, I wouldn't really be looking for a long on MATIC until we either tap this value area low or come down here, tap this support, reclaim the value area low, and that's where I would be looking for a long position. So just keeping it pretty simple, pretty short. All right, keeping that long right there. And then yes, the short is a little bit more complicated, but in reality, this is a massive resistance zone. All right, so you have the value area high, on tap daily, top of the channel, and monthly levels. This is a huge resistance, just this entire area. So you really want to pick and choose where you'd want to enter along. To be honest, what really seems to be standing out to me would be to wait for a price to at least take the liquidity of this high, right? Because this is support resistance, right? Support resistance. So I would be more comfortable in a short position if we do get price to come up, take some liquidity of these highs, come back down into the parallel channel, And then you would be looking for a short right there, right? Because now you're back in the parallel channel. You'll most likely be targeting the value area high and point of control. Now price could come down to the value area high, react, and then, you know, continue moving a little bit higher. But that's why we use risk management. You would place your stops right above that last high, and your entry would be down here. So your last high was about, you know, 5% away, so you just have to manage your position size. Go ahead and take this out, but that's where I would really be looking to enter a short position. You have the daily level below, so that is also going to be support. So you could get a reaction there. If you really want to be extra careful, you can wait till price comes down below the daily level, right? Then now you're entering down here, a little bit wider stop. Now your stop's about 7% away, which would just be the smartest area to place your stop. But then, you know, you target the value area low below. So pretty much a 2 or 3 to 1 risk reward ratio. And then your take profits would be as follow. You have your point of control. This could be a take profit as well. The previous resistance flip to support. And then you're targeting the value area low way below. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on MATIC. I don't like how many holders are holding most of these projects, or holding most of the coin for MATIC. I think it's like, I don't even know, 60 to 70% of the coins are held by maybe like 20 wallets, which is not good at all for a project that's that massive. But yeah, I think this is a pretty bullish sign. And if we go ahead and zoom in to just the current price action before we end things here, I do want to show you one more thing, which is also a good sign with MATIC's price action, right? So go ahead and take a look at that. Resistance, resistance, broke it, and it's looking to back test to move a little bit higher, right? You could even go ahead if you really wanted to. Let's see something here. Yeah, I don't really, yeah. I think this one's just a little bit better. You get the reaction. Price tried to break out, came back down, retapped it, tried to break out again, tapped the top of the parallel channel, rejected, came back down, and price did pause right here, as you can see, again on that trend line. Paused, closed below, came above, closed above it, and then moved a little bit higher. So this is also pretty bullish, seeing that MATIC did break out of this trend line. There is another trend line here too as well. So as long as we stay above this trend line too as well, it's going to continue its bullish move. Right, so I could see something like this happening, coming down, hitting that, flipping it, and just going higher. All right, so that's really what I'm expecting. And then yes, along the way, you can go ahead and place this here, because that is support resistance. You know, that's if you really want to get very technical, right? Once again, support resistance, support. If this level holds, then we're going to try to test the next level. If this level holds, we test the next level. It's just like a stair step at the end of the day. You're stair stepping up. All right, so that's pretty much it for MATIC. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Follow me on X. I have my TradingView account, YouTube account, and Telegram. Join all these for me. Like, subscribe, show some love.